2 months ago, General Motors said, hey, Buick dealers, if you don't want to be part of our future, well, you can get out now. We'll give you a buyout. We'll buy you out for pennies on the dollar. Now General Motors are saying to Buick dealerships, all 1,900 dealerships in the US, in fact 1,989, you need to spend around $400,000 to continue selling our vehicles. Here's the problem with that. If you look at Buick's sales for 2021 and even for 2022, well, the average dealership is selling virtually nothing. Seriously. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. Thank you for tuning in. And I will be at the Fully Charged live show in Sydney in March, then again in London in April, and of course in San Diego in the United States in October. If you want to see me at any of the other Fully Charged live shows, let me know in the comments, send me an email, contact me on Facebook, whatever it is, let me know, and then I'll see if I can do it. In the US, there is 1,989 Buick dealerships. But on average, each dealership last year sold 90 cars, meaning an average of 0.57 cars per day, less than 1 car per day, right? But that number includes the dealerships that are obviously doing really well. So if you actually exclude some of the dealerships who are selling an average of about 3 or 4 cars a day, then that would mean that the average dealership is probably selling closer to 0.4 to 0.5 cars per day, maybe 70 cars a year. Could you justify investing $400,000 to maintain selling cars for General Motors if that's how many cars you sell in a year? I don't think so. Think about it. If the average sales price of a Buick vehicle is, say, $50,000, if you did sell 90 cars per year, meaning you're probably better than the average, that means the total gross revenue is $4.5 million. But of course, dealerships only make a fraction of that, maybe 5%, meaning you'd only be making around $225,000 per year. That's got to cover your salary, your cost to run your dealership, right? The rent, if there's rent, or your mortgage payments, all the other things that are involved. I just don't see how this is possible for dealerships. And of course, General Motors knows that. GM has said the minimum investment required of US dealerships for tooling, training, and other EV equipment is an estimated average and will vary based on the individual dealership. It's estimated at between $300,000 to $400,000. Buick dealers who choose to stay with the brand have to invest that money. They don't have a choice because, well, all of its vehicles will be EVs within a matter of around 5 years. The minimum investment required of dealerships for tooling, training, and other EV equipment is an estimated average and will vary based on the store, but still the key point here remains. Buick plans to shift to an all-EV lineup by 2030 and has said it does not plan to introduce any new gasoline-powered vehicles after next year. That's it. No more after that. You can see how it's mandatory, right? The brand will use the Electra name for its EV lineup, along with an alphanumeric code to distinguish the models. If you want to see my video about the new Buick Electra electric car, I'll put a link in the description below. Buick has offered to buy out any US dealers who don't want to make the required investment to prepare to sell EVs. The brand has declined to share the number of dealerships that have elected to take the buyout offer to date. I'm guessing not many have done so. Poppet said in a statement that any dealer who wants to discuss this program is strongly encouraged to contact the Buick team. Now, clearly, this news has come after GM has already offered buyouts. I'm guessing not many have agreed to it. Therefore, GM is saying, well, okay, this didn't go the way we thought it would, so we're going to now say you've got to pay this much money to remain a dealer. That should weed out some of the smaller dealers, which GM think are probably unneeded or a waste of having them, adding unnecessary cost to the business. Buick had 1,989 dealerships about a year ago. It's now got around 25 less. We see Buick's dealer network as a business advantage, and they will remain a critical part of the retail and relationship chain with customers, Poppet said in the statement. Now, I have to negate that statement a little bit. GM has said they'll be selling online. Seriously, they've said this. That's news to you. If it's news to you, check out my video. I'll put a link in the description to that video. GM will be selling online. What will happen is dealers will simply make a cut. So if you say, for instance, live in, I don't know, Los Angeles, you jump online, you purchase your car at a fixed price, which is what they'll be doing, fixed prices, buying online, then what will happen is you'll get a notice. It'll say, this is your dealership. It's closest to you. Go pick up your car. Everything's organized for you, right? Obviously, this does cost GM money, but they think that sales will increase as a result. And I think they're right about that because that model is way better for customers. However, Buick, with the support of the National Dealer Council, they say, will allow those dealers who do not share Buick's all-electric vision to exit now on an elective basis before investment in essential training, tools, and special equipment is required. The minimum investment to become an EV-ready Buick dealer will vary by dealer, but is estimated to be $300,000 to $400,000 on average. So it could be even more than $400,000 depending on where your dealership is. Acceptance of an offer is voluntary, but all Buick dealers who remain must be adequately prepared to sell and service Buick EVs. So what's the deal with the actual buyout? Well, GM will offer the buyout program to the brand's all of their dealers, or 1,970 dealers, and dealers who accept the Buick buyout could still sell other GM brands. The Buick line is the second premium brand to shift toward an EV-only future. The company's Cadillac brand went through a dealer buyout program earlier this year. The automaker asked its 880 Cadillac franchises to invest at least $200,000 to sell EVs. Hundreds of dealers opted for the buyout instead. Hundreds of dealers opted for the buyout. I'm curious as to know why that hasn't happened for Buick. But Melcho reported the brand does not have an estimate on how many dealers might accept Buick buyout plan as the OEM moves forward with its electrification plans. But it was hoping more would than what have, I believe. Now, GM is going to have an EV-only lineup by 2035. And it's going to invest $35 billion on EVs and autonomous vehicles by 2025 and have 30 electric vehicles available globally in 2025. Now, that may or may not happen considering GM has said they should have 18 electric cars for sale now. In fact, they said that they would in October. They'd have 18 electric vehicle models you can buy in the US in October. They said that 5 years ago. Obviously, didn't quite work out that way. But hopefully GM succeed. Hopefully Buick dealers can come up with the cash and sell EVs. Because if they don't, they'll cease to exist. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.